Welcome to a journey of transformation. Every week, we explore new horizons, pushing boundaries and embracing what's next. This isn't just about technology, it's about evolving ourselves. Think of it as your weekly reset, a chance to upgrade your mindset, your skills, and your potential. We're here to help you rethink how you approach challenges, how you innovate, and ultimately, how you succeed. From powerful insights to practical strategies and game-changing knowledge, we tap into everything you need. It's about staying ahead, not just in a digital world, but in life itself, equipping you for every new beginning. Because in this fast-paced era, standing still is simply not an option. Growth is continuous. You either choose to evolve, to adapt, and to learn, or you risk being left behind. Embrace the change. This isn't just an update. It's a profound rebirth, a chance to redefine your future, to step into your power, and to truly thrive. It's about unlocking your next level. Join us on this exciting path. Embrace your new beginning. Your journey starts now.
Welcome to the Final Boss Podcast, Tech Tuesdays, and we're having tech issues, at least on my end. Systems are running a little, just a little slow tonight, and sorry for the late start, but we are here. I have the Sensei on board, and man, we have a great show for you tonight, and you know, that's what we do on Tech Tuesdays, man. We hear and we deliver, right? So before we get started, let's talk to the Sensei. Sensei, how are you, sir?
Oh, living, man. Just loving it. Working every day, getting things done.
Yes. That's all you can do. That's all you can do. Let's give a shout out to the Sensei, man. Right? You know, there's been a lot going on in the news, especially in the tech space, man, and we're going to get to some of those issues in a few. But before we do that, I got a few admin notes I need to get out the way, right? So first, the greeting of the day, right? The greeting of the day. And the greeting is this. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. That is the greeting of the day. And the disclaimer is this. Know that this is for entertainment purposes only. I am the Final Boss. This is the Final Boss Podcast. Welcome to the community, the nation, and the family. And we have with us, like we always have with us on every Tuesday night, the one, the only Big Mike, the Sensei, right? So tonight is episode number 233, man. We're almost at the halfway point. Man, can you believe it? 250 shows, man. Wow. You know, who would have thought, man, from the first episode, right? And before Tech Tuesday, before we had any real foundation and segment set up, it was just us, and we was just talking about the things that we wanted to share with the world, that we saw through our lens that needed to be shared, right? And now we're here, almost at 250 episodes, man. And you know, that's a moment to celebrate. But what's really going to be the moment to celebrate is when we hit episode number 300 and bring on the new season 5, The Harvest. I'm super excited about the harvest, man. You know what harvest brings. You lay the seeds and put in the groundwork now. The harvest brings the results, right? and you reap what you sow. So, man, tonight, I wanted to get that out the way. Oh, if you haven't received or gotten your copy of Go Time, All Aboard the Fired Up Train, go get it, man. Go get All Aboard the Fired Up Train, an Amazon bestseller, right? An Amazon bestseller. Look, the sensei is reading it. He's read it. I'm sorry. He's read it. He loves it, right? Right?
I'm over here. You're doing the opening. I'm doing some logistics to get some logistics out of the way.
Oh, okay. While you doing logistics, I need to get rid of the banners, man. The banners have to go. The banners are out of here. And look, oh man, we got a full house tonight, man. Thank you for everyone that's here. I know I had some tech issues earlier. Systems were running a little slow, but it looks like we're rocking and rolling right now. And man, we're gonna get into it, right? We're gonna get into it. So, Sensei, are you ready?
I am ready.
Smarts, final bosses, warriors, motivators, are you ready? Are you ready? The sovereign, are you ready? Yes. If you are, we get ready to get into it, man. So let's think about this, right? And we're talking about episode number 233, right? You know, this is the pressure test. This is Tech Tuesday, right? So think about, I'm gonna put you guys in a space, right? I'm gonna put you in a space. Imagine it's Friday morning and it's May 1st this year, right? While most Americans was logging off for the weekend, get ready to enjoy themselves, going to the beach and do all the things, right? The Pentagon quietly handed 8 technology companies the keys to the most sensitive networks in the country, right? 8 got a contract. 1 got blacklisted, right? 1 got blacklisted for asking a question nobody wanted to answer. And then 2 weeks later, the White House came back to that one and reopened the door. Tonight, the sensei and I, we're going to walk through that room and talk about it, right? And we're going to talk about what really happened. No doom and gloom, right? No Armageddon, no apocalypse, right? Just the foundation, no politics, right? And we're going to lay it down in real time. But before we do that, man, we have to get into the brass tacks of the evening, man. And the brass tacks comes from none other than the final boss, right? Aha, right? So here's the brass tacks that's going to lead us into tonight's conversation. Here it is. The companies who said yes got the paycheck. The company who asked the question got the door slammed in their face. Then the door opened back up, right? Pay attention to who knocks back. That is the brass tacks of the evening, right? And for all of you who are here, you know you're here and you're at the right place. For you guys who are just now joining us for the very first time, this is the Final Boss Podcast, and we are in season 4. So if you're just now joining us and this channel has found you, go to our website and watch all the other episodes, man. We're 233 episodes deep. So go check those out, man, see where we are and get caught up, right? So now season 4, the rebirth, arc 3, the foundation, episode number 233. And tonight, like every Tuesday at 9 p.m. live, we are Tech Tuesdays with the sensei, Big Mike on the other end, right? And Tech Tuesdays is where we do the pressure test for the week, right? Mondays, motivation, we like the fire. Tonight, we test the metal. Get ready to pour some tea, drink you some coffee, or whatever you do. Open your notebook, classes in session. Let's get to it, right? So Sensei, let's get into it, man. What you got?
All right. So think about that. It's a Friday morning, May 1st, 9 a.m. Eastern time. And the Pentagon dropped a list. And you're like, oh, whatever. But it's a big deal. 8 names are on it, but 1 name was missing. And that name that's missing is the most interesting name on the page. It's just crazy.
Wait. That's how we open it tonight? Is that what we're doing?
That's how we open. We ain't no warm up tonight.
No warm up.
This story is way too big for a warm up. This is like,
wow. All right. And just like that,
Just like that.
My sound.
Yeah. That's all
Hold
right.
on. You give me 2 seconds. Man. Sorry, guys. I said I was having tech issues. And just like that,
I can hear
my
you.
camera. You can hear me? What
Oh, yeah, I
about my
can hear you.
camera? Camera's good?
I still see you.
Okay. Something is weird is going on over here.
Well, so you know why it's weird.
Yes. We do know why. It's one of
Because
those subjects.
this is for entertainment purposes only.
This is only for entertainment purposes, ladies and gentlemen, and those that are watching and listening.
And those who are watching and listening.
So not only is the SENSEI in attack mode, but something else is in the background in attack mode as well. So
well, you know,
we're going to go to attack mode. Let's go.
Let's just go to attack mode. Because look, here's what I want you to picture. All right.
Right.
You're at home, you're doing your thing, and the Department of Justice just rewrote the operating system of military intelligence for the next decade.
For the next decade.
A minimum, probably longer. And nobody told you, nobody asked you, nobody put it on the news at the top of the hour. You know, it just dropped in a CNN business piece, 9 a.m. on a Friday, right before the markets closed for the weekend. Things are happening, and they just dropped it. Like,
you know,
oh, by the way.
Right, by the way. You know, that's usually when a lot of big moves happen.
Of course. Yeah, that's exactly how big moves happen. They're always going to happen quietly on a Friday, right before a weekend, you know, when nobody's paying attention. You know, sometimes other things happen the same way. You know, you're like, well, how come we're getting ready to talk about trillions of dollars of money we can't find and then bad things happen?
That part, right? So tonight, smarts, motivators, warriors, and final bosses. You are the sovereign, right? And guess what? Tonight, we pay attention.
Yes, we do. We pay attention. And the thing is, nothing that we're telling you is not available on the public interface. It's all out in the public. So we're not talking about anything that's hidden knowledge. We're not talking about anything that's not out there. It's already in the public forum. It's already. Correct. So we're just talking about, hey, this already dropped on the news. It's here. This is just.
It's here.
Oh, we just didn't pay attention to it because we were looking at, you know, the football draft or something else that's going on. We were paying attention to something else. So we can say, hey, pay attention. This is what's happening. The news media done already told us about it, so it's not like it's a surprise.
And that's what we're doing. But we're bringing it to you through our lens, which is Tech Tuesday, right? That's what we're doing. So, family, I need you to be locked in, right? Because we can already get into it, man. I told you, right? So, let's go.
Let's get it. Let's do this thing.
It's going to be a heavy story, but we're going to go light hands tonight.
Well, you know, panic don't pay the bills.
Man, but clarity does.
Clarity. And that's what we try to do here. We study the machine. We don't argue with the decorations every Tuesday.
Right. Every single Tuesday, right off the top.
Yeah, right off the top. I mean, this is what we do.
Yeah. So to my smarts, listen, right? You guys are engineers, the architects, the policy nerds, the procurement officers. You guys are reading the Federal Register documents while the rest of the internet is reading headlines. We see you, right? We see you.
Yeah, we see you. And tonight is your kind of episode because every word matters tonight. This is procurement language. This is vendor lists. This is the contract vehicle. I mean, you came to the right place. This is the machine that makes everything work. This is the nuts and bolts of the machine.
Absolutely. And to my final bosses, to the CEOs, the founders, the federal contractors, the SDVOSBs, listen, pay attention, man. the map of the next 10 years, as the sensei just said, is going to get drawn out, right?
Yeah, in a permanent marker.
Mm.
Yeah, but by 8 signatures, right? And you're reading the map. You're reading
Right.
the same map that we see right alongside us tonight. And that's the gift. It's
Mhm.
public knowledge, and we're just going to talk about what's out there in the world. It's just like talking about the
Right.
weather. Nothing nefarious here. No Nostradamus predictions. We're just going to talk about the weather.
Right. That's the gift, right? And to my motivators, the ones who needed to hear that even $1 billion company can stand on principle. Look, lose the round and come back to win the fight. That's how we roll.
Yeah. We call this segment 7, right? Market. This is called the Anthropic story. And that one is for you.
And to my warriors, my active duty, my veterans, my dear dual theater dogs like myself, right? The ones who actually deployed and know what AI in a kill chain really means. Tonight is a heavy one, and it's just for you, right? And we're going to hold it carefully.
Yeah, we have to carefully. Look, the warriors deserve carefully. And we're going to get to the personal angle later on in another segment here. And Dwight's going to walk us through the 23 years, what that looks like inside this story. So pull up a chair. Hang on.
Wow. You're going to throw me under the bus. Sensei.
Meep, meep.
Thank you, sir. Well, we appreciate you, sir, as always. And I know you're doing great and amazing. We're going to talk about you, man. We're going to, you know what? We're going to dedicate a whole show to the sensei, right? And look, that's going to be fun.
Ooh, that's going to be fun. Let's
Right.
go with the let's go. We like rabbit holes, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're locked in.
Mhm.
We're a little concerned about this one tonight, but this is what we do. Even though we're concerned about it, we're not going to bury our head in the sand. We're going to talk about it.
Wait, concerned? You concerned? Wait, that's new.
Yeah, that's because this story actually matters.
Mm.
And I want to give it the weight it deserves. And because look, I read the CNN piece 3 times before this episode. I pulled up the source filings, I watched the press briefings, and this is not a one-take episode. This is a teach episode. This is you don't just look at it and move on with your life. This is learn now.
See people, see sovereign, see family, see community, see nation, right? That's why he's the sensei. He preps, right?
That's right. You prep. You know why? Because they say a gallon of sweat in peacetime is worth an ounce of blood in war. So you prepare ahead of time.
Like Batman, you give him 24 hours, he can take anyone out. Well, look, see, before the Rebirth Tuesday is the pressure test, the rebirth you claimed on Monday. Tonight, we find out what it holds.
And this deal is non-negotiable.
Never negotiable. And we already gave you the brass tacks, but I need you to write this down, right? Tattoo it to yourself if you need to. Put it on a sticky in a mirror.
Pen up.
Look, the companies who said yes got the paycheck. The company who asked the question got the door slammed in their face. Then the door opened back up. Pay attention to who knocks back, right?
You want to read that again?
The companies who said yes got the paycheck. The company who asked the question got the door slammed in their face. Then the door opened back up. Pay attention to who knocks back, right?
Look, that bar has 3 layers, okay? 3 layers. Layer 1, compliance gets you in the room. Layer 2, questioning gets you put out of the room. And layer 3, capability gets the door reopened.
3 layers, 2 paragraphs.
That's right, 3 layers. But that's the whole rebirth lens for tonight. Compliance is not capability.
Right.
Compliance just buys you a seat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Capability buys you the door. Two different currencies, two different outcomes.
Exactly. But wait. Walk that out one more time for the chat.
Okay, so you can comply your way to a paycheck, right? Don't argue, just shut up and take the money, okay? But you cannot comply your way to leverage.
Mm.
Leverage requires something the room cannot find anywhere else. That is the whole game. That's the name of the game.
Listen, people. Senseis don't lie. Mission for the next 60 minutes, right? 3 things on the menu. Sensei, walk us through the menu.
So, number one, we walk through the 8 companies that the Pentagon picked, what each one brings, and why they got the call, and where their lane is, because they're not all doing the same thing. They all have a lane.
Right.
That's segment 5. 2, we break down the one that got iced, the reason they got iced, then what changed when they came back. And this is where the learning thing is. This is what's going to teach us about how to operate. And that's in segment 6 and 7. Now, 3, we pull the lessons for the 4 communities: practical, tactical, this week. That's segment 13. Plus, we're going to do a little personal. We're going to throw you under the bus in segment 10. And then we got some predictions going to happen in segment 14. Now, we don't like to predict, but sometimes when the writing's on the wall, you don't have a lot of choices in the matter. It's a map. We're just going to follow the map.
Right.
And then we're going to have the close so we can wrap this thing all up. But that's tonight's menu.
That's the menu, family. Sensei laid it out clean.
Well, got to stay clean, lean, and mean.
All right, man. Let's eat. Grab your fork, grab your spoon, grab your steak knife. Let's go. So, let's get started, man. Sensei, take us into the room. What happened that Friday morning?
Okay, so on Friday, May 1st, 2026, CNN broke a story at 9:03 a.m. Eastern Time. This is exactly when it happened. Boom. And the headline was simple: Pentagon strikes deals with 8 big tech companies after shunning Anthropic. And you're like, what? The Department of Defense announced an agreement with 8 major technology companies to use their artificial intelligence tools in its classified networks. Read that line again. It's in what? The classified networks. And what have we got done talking about? We talked about the black box, right? The black box is the AI.
Yeah.
But now it has access to classified networks.
It's in the classified networks, people.
And we're talking inside, not at the perimeter, not in a sandbox. You know, a sandbox is like a kitty box, a litter box with the cat, right? The cat goes in the litter box so it doesn't get over the whole house. That's called a sandbox, right? It's not in a research lab. This is inside. That wire is crossed.
Walk that out for the room, for the chat, right? Because most folks hear classified network and they think top secret emails or something else, but that ain't it at all.
No, this is way bigger than email. Look, the Pentagon runs 3 primary classified networks. And again, this is all knowledge that's out there in the world. They have the NIPRNet, which stands for the Non-Classified Internet Protocol Routing Network. That's the unclassified network. We call that just the loosey-goosey. Nothing serious going on there, no big deal. But that's not what we're talking about tonight. Number 2, the second one, the second network is called SIPRNet. And this means Secret Internet Protocol Routing Network. And this is the secret level classified network. But this is where the most of the operational orders move. This is where targeting data lives. This is where intelligent reports get distributed. So that's a lot that happens there. But that's all considered pretty internalized still. Then we have number 3, which is called the JWICS, Joint Worldwide Intelligent Communication System. Now this is top secret and above. This is where the big boy stuff sits, where the highest classified intelligence sits. Okay, this is where the biggest decisions get made. Now, I'm not revealing anything that's not already known. All of this, what I'm talking about, this all gets taught anytime you take any security class at all, and you learn about these types of networks, because that's how you understand classifications of data. That's all this is. So I'm not telling you something that's a hidden knowledge. This is common taught knowledge. I teach this in my classes. This is common knowledge.
I was a student. Absolutely. Right. And now, are we saying AI running in those rooms?
Right now, AI runs in those rooms. It's there. And that's just a surface layer. But that's the layer that matters. Look, this is the layer that matters. The Pentagon just picked who writes the operating system of military intelligence for the next decade. And 8 companies got handed that pen.
People, 8 companies got the pen.
Yeah, 8 companies got the pen. And this is what most people are going to miss, right? This is not a one-off contract. This is not a single award. This is not a vendor pool. This is not like, we're just going to put this out for bid and, we're going to see who steps up to the plate, who can deal with this situation. This is a trusted list. Once you're on that list, every future award goes through that list. Right. So every modernization initiative flows through that list. Every AI deployment flows through that list.
Right.
The list is the architecture, because this is how it works. Right? This is the structure. It is the framework is laid out.
The list is the architecture.
Yeah, the architecture, not features, not the product. The architecture, the structure.
That's the bar of the night right there, man.
And yeah, that is the bar. Because once the architecture is set, everything that gets built has to fit. Everything has to fit the architecture. And that's why this story is the foundation. And that is why this Arc 3 is named so correctly. And this is why we're doing the episode tonight, not next week, tonight. And why? Because the concrete is still wet.
Man, let's give it up for the Sensei, man. Right? Sensei, let's pivot for a second. Right? Let's do a quick roll call. And because I know they want to know the sovereign, the smarts, the motivators, the warriors, and the final boss. They want to know who are the 8. Can you read those for us?
And I'm going to tell you, and this is the order that CNN listed them, in this order. The first one, SpaceX, OpenAI, Google, Microsoft, NVIDIA, Amazon Web Services, Oracle, and Reflection. That's 8 names, 8 different lanes. Each one of them brings something specific to the table. And this is not 8 versions of the same product. This is not like, okay, you build the product and you build the product and we're going to pick one. It's not like McDonnell Douglas and Boeing and they both build aircraft. No.
Right.
No. This is the same product. This is a constellation pick.
A constellation pick.
And I'm going to walk through them. Okay. Number 1, SpaceX. What do they bring to the table? You say, okay, what SpaceX bring to the table? Well, they bring Starlink. And what do we use Starlink for? Battlefield connectivity. And where are we using it right now? It's already deployed in Ukraine. It's already operational in Gaza. It's already trusted by SOCOM. Look, the Pentagon needed connectivity that survives in contested environments. They can't, look, back in the day in World War I, World War II, we used to do what's called commo wire. If you wanted to have communications on the battlefield, you had to run a wire from one piece to the next. And if the wire got broken, you lost communications. That's called running commo wire. Okay. So you need connectivity that survives in environments that you can't run wire.
True.
And it takes too much time to run the wire. So Starlink is that answer.
Right.
So number two, OpenAI. And what does that give us? That's GPT class reasoning. That's the conversational layer, the intelligence agent layer. When you can ask the system a question in a plain language. And the OpenAI stack is the one parsing it. So it's breaking it out from common language into actionable, usable computer language.
Right.
So that's what it does. Okay. The next one is number 3 is Google. You say, well, what did they bring? Well, they bring us what's called Gemini plus search infrastructure, document parsing at scale.
Right.
They bring us imagery analysis, video analysis.
Yep.
If you have 40,000 surveillance photos to sort through, you can't do that by hand.
No.
But Google Stack is going to sort them, organize them, and give you information based upon them.
Right. But why Google over the others on imagery?
Well, because search is their birthright. They've got 40 years of indexing the world's information. So they needed somebody who could index classified information at the same scale. Google already had the muscle already built. Done. They already been doing it. This is in their lane. This is one of the primary things that Google is known for is searching, indexing, and finding.
True.
You build a new web page, you ask Google, verify my web page, and they do what's called crawling, where they index your whole web page. So they can parse massive amounts of information to be able to find things. It's all about finding things.
Right.
And you say, number 4, Microsoft. What does the Dark Master bring to the table?
Dark Masters, wow.
Well, you know, the Sith. What's the Sith Lord bring to the table, right? And what they bring is Azure.
Yeah.
And this is the cloud the Pentagon already runs on. They're already using it. They've been using it. I remember when we were talking about it in security classes that Microsoft got Office 365 for all of the military. So they're running on that platform now. They have the JWCC contract, the Joint Warfare Cloud capability. I mean, Microsoft's already in the building. I mean, this deal just gave them a bigger room. That's all it is. But they were already there. So that was a no-brainer, right? They're already being used. Just leverage it to get more done. So, number 5, NVIDIA. And you say, oh, we hear about NVIDIA all the time. Well, what do they bring? They bring the chips, the H100s, the H200s, the Blackwell. I mean, without NVIDIA, none of the others can run because NVIDIA is the leverage, right?
Correct. Yep.
It's the hardware.
Oh, and by the way, yesterday was May the 4th be with you. And today is May 5th. So may the Sith be with you, right?
That's right. That's right.
But that's the leverage move of the decade right there, right?
Oh boy, isn't it? Yes, it is. So now we talk about the Sith, number 6. Amazon Web Services, right?
Yep.
They have GovCloud already. They already have FedRAMP. It's highly certified. It's already trusted with the intelligence community workloads. And some workloads need redundancy outside of the Microsoft platform or Azure. So AWS holds that. So AWS should say, what does AWS do? Amazon Web Services is enormous hosting, and it's known for having redundancy. So if I host my product on Azure, Amazon Web Services, then I know that it's always going to be running because they have so many servers so far spread across the globe that I can lose half of the darn things and my stuff is still going to work.
True.
That's redundancy. And we also in security teach about redundancy and so how critical it is to an operation.
Correct.
Because if you have all your eggs in one basket, what happens when you drop the basket? You break a bunch of eggs.
Absolutely.
So number 7, Oracle. You say, wait a minute, what is Oracle?
The real Dark Master.
Yeah, that's what they bring us, the database layer.
Yeah.
This is the old guard, right? This is the old school. But guess what? They're still
They're
relevant.
Mhm.
And Larry Ellison, who runs Oracle, he must have known somebody.
Right. And listen, man, Sensei is not telling you nothing but the truth.
That's what I tell the truth, man. I am not lying on that one.
Mm-hmm.
And we know that when they had Doge happening, and what was Doge doing? Doge was just grabbing hold of a bunch of databases and putting them all together.
Yeah.
So instead of having 10 independent fingers, now you have one hand.
Yeah.
Number 8, this is called reflection. And most of us don't even know what this is, because what this brings us is the wild card. And this is the newest name on the list. And this is specialized agentic AI.
Mm.
And it got picked over 100 competitors.
Wow.
Why? Because it provides autonomous reasoning, agentic action, and AI that doesn't just answer, it executes.
Pentagon wants execution in a major way.
Well, the Pentagon always wants execution. Look, they got 8 names, 8 lanes, building one foundation.
Wow. Now, this is the part of the story that matters more than the 8. Sensei, take it away.
Right. So we haven't been talking about the one that didn't make the list. We've only been talking about the list. So now let's talk about the one that did not make the list. Anthropic, the maker of Claude, not on the list. Now, as per CNN reporting, this is not me. I'm not telling you anything that's not already out in the public, and you can go find it. May 1, direct quote from the piece. The Trump administration blacklisted Anthropic, and the reason given was this. And here it is. You ready?
Yes.
This is where you listen very carefully.
Take notes.
Anthropic insisted that the Pentagon include certain safety guardrails for the government's use of AI in warfare. And read that slow. Anthropic insisted that the Pentagon includes certain safety guardrails for the government's use of AI in warfare.
And let me say that slow from the back of the room.
Say it slow.
Anthropic, right? A company worth billions, said to the United States Department of Defense, we would give you our AI for warfighting, but only if you agree to certain rules about how it gets used.
And that's a position. And all this time that we talk about AI, the whole time that we have been talking about AI and how this been being built and how it's being used, what's the number one thing we've said we have to be careful of? We need to give it guardrails. We need to be protected. We can't let it run wild. And we have talked about that very specific thing. And we thought that nobody was listening to us. Because we said it's running wild, it's the wild, wild west, it's a race to the end, and nobody cares about the guardrails. And then boom.
Boom.
And I just got goosebumps on my arms because somebody must have been listening to our conversation to say, hey, we should probably put some guardrails on this thing.
Yeah.
We should probably put some protection on this thing. And what did the administration respond? No thanks. And they put him on the no-fly list. Look, the 8 other companies signed without conditions.
should tell you
Anthropic wasn't going
something.
to sign without conditions. They weren't going to sign without conditions. They wanted
Right.
conditions. And the conditions got them iced. And that's the trade.
Now, somebody's going to hear that and say Anthropic was naive.
Naive, right, right. Some folks are going to say that, except for folks that listen to what we say and
Right.
what we've been telling you for the past year.
And you know what? Somebody else is going to hear that and say Anthropic was the only adult in the room.
And some folks are going to say that too. But look, both arguments are out there, and we're not picking sides tonight. Okay.
Right.
I mean, we're pointing at the line because the line is real. The line is here. You can pick a side or do not. I don't care. But the line exists now. You can't undraw it. The line is unlimited or with protection. So that's the line. Nothing more, nothing less.
Listen, when you put your foot in the sand and draw the line, you cannot undraw it.
No, you cannot. And here's the layer most people miss. This is not the first time Anthropic has done this. Right? Last summer, OpenAI took Pentagon money on broad terms. But Anthropic published a responsible scaling policy last fall. Google quietly dropped its old AI principles around weapons. Anthropic kept theirs. And this winter, Microsoft expanded its JWCC integration. Anthropic kept asking the harder questions. This is not a one-off.
Right.
This spring, 8 companies signed. Anthropic asked for guardrails. That's not a stumble. That's a pattern. They're the only one who is being responsible. And what we're calling out here is, hey, this is not a one-off. Oh, by the way, they didn't get what they wanted, so therefore there's a complaint. No, they've been doing this consistently throughout, saying protect guardrails. Do not let it run wild.
That is the only adult in the room. And that is a posture.
Oh, absolutely. And the room either rewards posture or punishes posture. And Friday, they punished. And we get to what happened next in segment 7.
Wow. Just wow. Right? Let's do another pivot. I like pivots. Right. Plot twist time. The story did not end at the blacklist, right? SENSEI, take us through the story even further.
All right, now let's just put the same CNN report. Remember, we're only talking about the news. This is the stuff that's out there in the public. And look, I'm not trying to paint a target on our backs, okay?
Right.
I'm just telling you what the news is saying. Right? I'm just telling you what's going on. And this is direct quote from CNN, okay? And here it is. The White House reopened discussions with Anthropic in recent weeks after the company made significant announcement about several technology breakthroughs. Read that again. What's the key word? Reopen discussions in recent weeks after significant breakthroughs. What do you call that, right?
Right.
So the thing is, the same Pentagon that blacklisted them walked back to them. They walked back quietly.
Right.
And that word matters, quietly. The public position has not changed. Anthropic is still they're still off the official list. They're still not there. But the back channel was opened.
Why does that quietly matter?
Because quietly tells you the actual situation. Look, loud is for the press.
Right.
Quiet is for the work. Public says one thing, the private does another. The public is for performance. Private is the truth. And the work needed Anthropic. So the work made the call, even though the press release said otherwise.
Walk that out again for me, please, sir.
Sure. You have a Pentagon that has publicly said Anthropic is unacceptable. That same Pentagon then said quietly, well, we still need to talk to you. You know, we still need you, but that's not a flip. That's tell.
Mm-hmm.
The tell is that the 8 companies on the list, they cannot do everything that needs doing.
That part.
There's a gap.
Yep.
And Anthropic fills that gap.
Right.
So whatever the breakthroughs were, they
Mm-hmm.
weren't big enough to override, or they were big enough to override the political position. We don't know what those breakthroughs are. We
Right.
just know that it's big enough that they says, well, we're going to talk to you.
Yeah. Big enough to override politics.
And that's rare. That's super, super rare. Look,
Mhm.
politics usually wins, but in this situation, the capability won the round. And that's why this story matters. Look, and is the rebirth I was hinting at in the open.
Lesson buried in the story right there. Right.
Yeah, and it's buried deep. But here, listen to this. Hear me out. If your work is replaceable, your
Mhm.
principles are negotiable. But if your work is irreplaceable,
Right.
your principles get respected.
True.
Because if they can replace you, there's a
Mhm.
million guys waiting to do your job, get out. If
Yeah.
they can't replace you, they got to listen.
Mhm.
Right at
Mhm.
identity.
Yeah.
You do not negotiate from need. You
Mhm.
negotiate from capability. If the
Capabilities.
room can replace you, the room dictates the terms. If the
Mhm.
room needs you, you dictate the terms. And that is the only math that we need to talk about. That's it.
And that math right there is some good math. That math is mathing, right? That is the only math, family. Right?
And that's not core math. That's
No.
not core math.
Mm-mm. Now write that down twice.
Twice.
2
In ink.
times. In ink.
Engrave it.
Right.
The principle without the capability gets you blacklisted. Period. End of story. Full stop. The capability without the principle gets you compromised. But the combination that gets the door reopened. Anthropic had both. The 8 signed with no principles, just like show me the money. That's all it is. Show me the money.
Right.
That's the difference that this story is teaching. Okay.
Wow.
This company not only has principles, but they're
Mhm.
willing to put it on the line.
Sensei, thank you for that. Now, I need you to walk through what AI inside a classified network actually looks like in practice, right? Because most folks are picturing ChatGPT with a flag in the corner. That ain't it. We ain't talking about that.
No, that's not it. And so when we talk about networks and secure networks, we have a thing that's called being air gapped. And any classified deployment is called air gapped. There's no internet, there's no outside calls, no
Mhm.
external API access. The model runs on the agency's own iron, on their own facilities, on their own secure facilities inside a SCIF, which is a secure. And if I translate SCIF for the room, it means sensitive, compartmentalized information facility.
Right.
Okay. So that means that's a secure place. So no internet, no dirty place. This is a clean, safe
Clean.
environment in a locked room, lead lined
Mhm.
walls in some cases, no phones, no laptops, no paper out without approval, no microphones, no cameras. This is a classified workspace.
Right.
And this is where the most sensitive work happens. But this is where AI now lives.
Look, I've stood in those rooms.
Yes, many times. 23 years of federal service. DC Army and
Mhm.
Air National Guard Joint Force Headquarters. He was in the Pentagon on 9/11. He knows the floor plan. So
Right.
when I tell you what a SCIF is and what goes on in there, Turbo knows what the deal is.
Look, the conversation about what gets allowed inside a SCIF is the most serious conversation in the federal government. You don't bring your phone in there. You don't bring your watch. You don't bring anything that has a microphone or a camera.
Right. But now You bring AI.
Right. Now you bring AI. Go figure.
Well, look, it's a foundational shift here, right? Once the AI sits at the table, AI never leaves the table. That's a permanent chair.
Yeah.
Now, layer on top of that, the classified AI deployment requires three things minimum. Number one, the model must run on classified hardware, which means dedicated GPUs, which graphic processing units, inside the SCIF.
Right.
NVIDIA chips inside the wire. Number two, the training data has to either be unclassified or the entire training pipeline has to move to classified. Now, most of the 8 chose option 1. The training data is unclassified. Train on unclassified data, which is fine. Train on the unclassified data, but then fine tune it in classified environments, which is okay if you have to do it. That's not a bad way to get the job done.
Right.
Number 3, the output has to be auditable. Every query logged, every response logged, every reasoning chain captured. Now, because if the AI makes a recommendation that shaped a decision, the audit trail is now legal evidence.
Legal evidence, people.
Right, legal evidence. And that is why audit is a non-negotiable. This is why guardrails were in the conversation. The 8 said yes to the basic 3. Anthropic asked for the 4th. They want a human in the loop on the kill chain.
Right.
So that's a big deal. You can't just say, well, the computer did it. How come that hospital got blown up with all those little kids in it? Well, the computer did it. Anthropic said, no. No, we want an audit trail, right?
Right.
We want a human in the loop. But that was a bridge too far for the administration. That's the actual fight. And we're going there next, what the actual fight is.
Right. Let's talk about the elephant, right? Let's talk about the elephant, SENSEI. AI and warfare. That's the actual phrase.
It is. It is. The elephant in the room. The thing that nobody wants to say at the dinner table. But we're going to say it. AI and warfare means 3 categories. The first category, category 1, is decision support. AI helps the humans analyze the data faster. They can spot patterns, they can read intel, they triage threats. The human still decides what to do. And this is the safe lane. This is good. This is great. This is fantastic. Everybody agrees this is awesome because you can make intelligent decisions better because you can see all the data faster. So you can be more accurate when you're making decisions. That's fantastic. Everybody says that's awesome. Then comes category 2. Now we're starting to get a little bit hairy. This is called decision acceleration. AI does most of the analysis automatically. And the human approves the recommended action. The human is still in the loop, but the human's window to disagree is shrinking.
Right.
And that's kind of a gray zone because now the decisions happen so fast, the human can't process why the decision was made. So it's happening a little quick now. Things are starting to get, oh boy. So we kind of say, well, all right, but you can still stop it, right? Yeah, we can still stop it. They don't have to hit the full red button. Okay, the human still has to say, go. So, but that's gray area, so a little mushy. Now we have category 3. And this is the one where everybody goes, uh-oh. This is the one where we talk about in the movies. Do you remember the Terminator?
Yeah. Yep.
Skynet, Terminator, decision authority. AI executes without human approval. This is inside a defined envelope. But think about this. Anti-air missiles already do this.
Yeah.
Counter rocket systems already do this. Active electronic warfare already does this.
Yep.
But this is the lane that scares everybody. And we're already using it in 3 major areas. Already today, using this in 3 areas.
3 categories. And you know what? People, AI learns. If you didn't understand those 3 categories, and when we got to the last, it learns, right? We're teaching it.
And for the 3 categories, Anthropic was not asking the Pentagon to abandon any of them. They said, no, we're cool with those. They're asking for explicit policy on which AI does which job?
Right.
Just what does what? Map it out. But
Mhm.
the Pentagon did not want the lock. They wanted flexibility. They wanted speed. They wanted to move based on the threat.
Right.
And that's the actual fight.
Pentagon isn't stupid. They know about this lane.
Oh, they know. They
Mhm.
wanted Anthropic to skip the explicit policy, not because they want AI doing kill decisions on its own. It's because they do not want their hands tied while every adversary nation is racing without rules. Think about that. They
Right.
said, we don't want it because we know if we have guardrails to slow us down, nobody else has guardrails.
Mhm.
No other nation on the planet is going to have guardrails. We're going to be the only one. We're
Right.
going to be restricted. Look, China doesn't
Mhm.
have these conversations.
Right.
Russia doesn't have these conversations. Iran
Mhm.
sure as hell doesn't have these conversations. And
Yep.
the argument is if we tie our own hands, they win. That's the
That is
argument,
the argument.
right? Now, there's a counter argument. If we do not tie our own hands, we become them.
Mm.
And that's the trade. I mean, there
Right.
is no clean answer. There is no good guys win the day
Mhm.
finish. It's not happening.
Right.
Industry has not agreed on which position is acceptable. The
Mhm.
government has not agreed. Allies haven't disagreed. We know
Mhm.
this, though. The enemies are not even giving a damn about guardrails.
No.
But this conversation is overdue by a decade.
Hmm.
You know, back in the day when we had nuclear arms deals, it was because we knew that we're going to, if one hits the button, it blows everybody up.
Yeah.
Well, in the same scenario, a AI arms race has already been happening, and this conversation should have already happened,
Mhm.
but it didn't.
Yeah. And what's interesting, I talked about that last night on last night's episode on Motivation Monday, or no, on Sunday's episode of Sitting Down. I actually talked about that. Yep.
Mhm.
And guess what? We're not solving it tonight.
No, no, we're flagging it. Look, these are just three
Mhm.
positions you need to know. Is the human in the loop? Is the human on the loop? Or is the human off the loop? That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
And it
Yep.
means the human approves either before, in means the human approves before the action happens. On means the human can override during the action.
Right.
Off means the human has no real-time control. You pick your position or it will be picked for you.
That's the only choice.
It is the only choice. And for every final boss in the building, it's going to be
Mhm.
asked to take a position on this in the next 24 months. Government contracts will require it. Insurance underwriters will require it. Customer agreements will require it. Pick now. It's here. And
It
we might
is.
talk about it in the context of the military and the government, what they're doing with that. But
Mhm.
what happens there is going to apply industry-wide everywhere.
Everywhere.
Insurance
Yep.
companies are going to do it where they don't want a human
Mhm.
involved anymore. They want the AI to just make the entire decision.
Yep.
So this is going to be happening
Mhm.
everywhere.
Yep.
Everywhere.
Yep.
I actually am involved in doing programming right now, which is AI assisted programming that
Mhm.
is to automate processes. And we talk about in the decision process while it's happening as a safeguard or let it run wild. And
Yeah.
no one says let it run wild.
Yep. And hexadecimal, our vetting system, does that as well. And man, the military is always the test bed. The military is always the test bed, people. Always, right? Before it goes industry wide, before civilians get it, right?
My cat was in the office. He's
I heard
cruising
her.
around. Yeah, he's
I
cruising.
heard it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he's cruising around. He
Okay,
wants to talk to me. He's like, "What are you doing, Dad?"
you're right.
So what we're doing here is we're doing this segment a little different, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so most weeks I drive the segment. Tonight I'm asking some questions because Dwight has a standing in this story that nobody else in the network has. Before we go deeper, tell the room where were you on September 11, 2001?
Wow. Man, I wasn't expecting that one. I was at the Pentagon. I was
And
down the
where
hall.
were you? Inside that day.
Inside that day, I was inside a a telecom closet. We were doing fiber optics.
Mhm. 23
Mm.
years of federal service since. Walk us through what that means in this conversation.
Well, DC Armory, Air National Guard, Joint Force Headquarters. I was a branch chief, right? I resigned that position to focus on my own firm, right? As CEO of Saturn Digital Networks Development Corporation, a service-disabled veteran-owned cybersecurity firm. Combat veteran with dual theater deployments, right? OEF 3-4 and OIF, right? So when the Pentagon makes a foundational move on AI and classified networks, that is not abstract to me. This is the building, and I served in that for 2 decades, right? Making a decision that's going to change the building forever.
23 years on the inside, standing 0 on this story. Nobody has more. Give us your honest read, not the sanitized read, the honest read.
Well, since they honest read, man, Pentagon made the right move on speed. They had to. They didn't have a choice. Adversaries moved, right? China moved, Russia moved, Iran moved. We needed to make a move.
We had to.
But the way they moved, the 8, the blacklist, the reversal, that tells me federal AI strategy is being made in real time without a master plan. Building the foundation while still drawing the blueprint.
Building while drawing, huh? What wet concrete we call that.
Right.
The architects are still arguing. So what does that mean for the community, for the federal contracts? What does that mean? Small firms competing for prime and sub work. What does that mean?
The 8 got the headline. The next 3 years of work is going to be subcontracted. The opportunity is in the second tier. The tools, the integrations, the security overlays, the training, deployment, compliance. That is where the bread is, right? That is where SDVOSB wins. That is where my firm operates.
So you position now.
Yes, position now, Q3, not next year, but now. Because once the architecture sets, the second tier shape locks too.
Locks in place, solid, not changing.
Locks. That is the real from the inside. Now, Sensei, thank you for that, sir. That was unexpected. But let's zoom out for a moment. Arc 3, the foundation. What did Friday actually lay the foundation for?
There's 3 things. The foundational is pillar 1. Okay. The federal AI vendor list just got compressed. 8 names, the whole Department of Defense for the foreseeable future. Okay.
Right.
That compression has consequences. The number one consequence is every federal agency outside of the DoD must follow this list. Homeland Security, Department of Energy, Department of Justice, Treasury, State, NSA, CIA, DNI. If the DoD bless the 8, the rest of the federal government inherits this list. Number 2 are the consequences. Every state and federal and local government, will also follow this list. This is called police departments, hospitals, utilities, schools. Look, once the federal procurement system says these 8 are trusted, the state RFPs will require trust verification, and the 8 already have it. So anything that you try to do that's not inside the 8, you have to go through a major uphill battle because you don't even have trust verification at that point.
Correct.
So foundational pillar 2, the capability bar got reset. If you're not in the 8, you're competing as a sub or as a specialty.
Right.
Period.
Yep.
It doesn't matter how good your tech is. It doesn't matter how clean your code is. It doesn't matter how ethical your model is. You're not in the 8. You ride somebody else's contract,
Yeah.
or you ride a niche.
Mm-hmm.
Now comes foundational pillar 3. The values conversation got tabled. Speed won this round. The values fight comes back, but not soon. Probably 18 to 24 months from now, when the first scandal actually breaks. And I'm not predicting, I am not predicting that when the first scandal breaks, we're going to say, hey, we should have put guardrails on this.
Right.
When the first AI related incident makes the front page, that's
Mm-hmm.
when the values come back hard.
Right.
But until then, the floor is the floor. And here's the thing, please understand this.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that it's going to happen in our adversaries' systems where they have bad things happen, AI makes bad decisions, and they're going to tell their people about, oh, AI made a boo-boo and we blew up 2 cities? They're not going to say anything. So you're never going to hear a one peep anywhere about China, Russia, Iran, or any of the other bad actors. You're never going to hear one word about their AI making a mistake, because they're going to repress that.
Yep.
You're only going to hear about us because we have disclosure.
Mm-hmm.
So then we're going to always look like the bad guy in this front, even though they're probably going to have 10 or 12 incidents to one of ours. But you're going to hear about ours, because they're going to use that as a leverage point to say America's AI is evil. It doesn't matter that theirs is 100 times more evil. It doesn't matter they killed millions of people. We don't care about that. If one person dies, America's AI is evil.
Right.
That's the leverage point they're going to come from.
That's
what's happening.
Yep, absolutely.
Look, the 3 pillars: compressed lists, reset the bar, tabled values. Every decision in tech, defense, federal contract, and commercial AI for the next 10 years will get built on top of these 3 things. The concrete is going to be set in 90 days. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
After that, it's structural. After structural becomes permanent.
Permanent. Mm-hmm.
And that's why this episode matters so much tonight. Not in 6 months, not in quarter 4. Look, the ones who understand the foundation get to build on the foundation. The ones who miss it get to rent a space, and the ones who already built it.
Rent or own it.
That's right. You can either rent or own. You pick now. The window's open. It's not optional. Not right now. It's not.
Not optional at all. Yep. Absolutely. Listen. Season 4 is the rebirth. Sensei, where's the rebirth in this story? Point to it directly.
So there's 2 rebirths. The first one is Anthropic, right? Friday morning, they got blacklisted. The story dropped. CNN, 9 a.m. Okay. Most companies in that position do one of 2 things. Either option 1, they apologize. I'm sorry. We're going to walk back our principle. We're going to sign the original deal. We're just going to, I'm sorry, we're bad. And they're going to get back on the list. Most companies will pick that because that's the easy route to take. But option 2, you make noise, you do press release, you do public statements, you do Twitter threads from the CEO, you try to win the news cycle. That's everybody else picks that. Okay? You try and point at them and go, see, they made a bad thing, and get public opinion on your side. But here we go.
Yeah.
Anthropic did option 3. They got back to work. They shipped the breakthroughs that were already in the pipeline. They let their work do the talking for them.
Right.
What happened? The door reopened. Same Pentagon that blacklisted them quietly walked it back. And that is a rebirth. It's a new posture, a new operating principle. You do not negotiate from need. You negotiate from work. Let your work speak for itself.
From the work, people. From the work.
And that's a second rebirth. The federal AI procurement model itself is the old model. It's slow. You have multi-year RFPs, requests for proposals. It's bureaucratic, death by committee. You can submit a proposal in January, wait till December for a decision, okay? That's why a lot of companies can't deal with government, because it takes too long.
Right.
Now there's a new model. 8 names, 1 announcement, 1 Friday morning, done. That's a rebirth too. It's faster, tighter, more decisive. Of course, some is going to be good, some is going to be bad, but it's all going to be new.
Right.
And the good is decisive action against fast-moving adversaries, because the adversaries are not moving slow. The bad is less debate, less competition, less correction. And here's the thing about that. We're about to find out what that actually costs. But the model's already changed. We cannot unchange it.
It's all new.
All new. And
Mm-hmm.
family, lesson for the final boss community sits right here. Rebirth is not always pretty.
Right.
Sometimes rebirth looks like you got told no, you went home. You
Mm-hmm.
got better, you came back stronger. Look, Anthropic did not melt down on Twitter when they got blacklisted. They didn't see anything. They just got back to work and
Yeah.
shipped something new,
Yep.
something bigger, better, faster. And they got the call. That's the model. Build the work, let the work do the talking. The
Mm-hmm.
room that closed the door will open it back up if the work demands it.
Right.
And for those lanes we talked about, those 8 lanes, it needed that piece. It would not function without that piece.
Right. Take
That's the
notes,
rebirth
family.
lesson. Mhm.
Yep. Take notes. Sensei is preaching tonight, man. Sensei is preaching.
I know I'm preaching, but the thing is that I'm not telling you anything that you don't already know if you look. If you open your eyes and you see, I'm not
Mm-hmm.
telling you anything that's a secret. I'm
Right.
not telling you any secrets. I'll feed you when we're
So
done, Max. I'll feed you when we're done.
we're almost done. We're almost done. So with oh man, we're a couple stay with us, ladies and gentlemen. We are almost done. We're almost here. We're going to close very soon. Max is calling, right? So Sensei, predictions. 90 days out. Where does this story go?
Well, eh, let's see. You got to remember now, 90 days is a long, long time.
Mm-hmm.
Long time. 90 days is like, man, this is 3
Yeah.
predictions plus a bonus, okay? I'm going to give you 3
Mm-hmm.
predictions and a bonus, okay? And you can call me Nostradamus if you want, but I'm not. I'm not saying anything that you don't read the writing on the wall. If you look,
Right.
the template's the template, right? All
Right.
right, prediction
The
1: at
patterns
least
of
one of
pattern.
the 8 companies is going to get quietly removed. One of them is going to
Mm,
go away. It's either capability they don't meet or a scandal. One is probably going to be a scandal. Something's going to happen.
right.
Some whistleblower somewhere is going to say something. Something somewhere is going to happen, and one of those is going to go away.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say watch for Reflection or Oracle. Okay.
Okay.
Look, the reason why I put possibly Reflection is because they're new and they're
Yeah.
unproven at this scale.
Mm-hmm.
Oracle, because they have an aging product line that struggle in the AI modern workloads. So Oracle can struggle with the load from these big workloads. All right. One of them is a
Right.
coin flip who's going to fall off. One's going to go away. I think that's prediction 1.
That's a good
Prediction
prediction.
2: Anthropic's going to sign a modified agreement within 60 days. They're
Mm-hmm.
going to have guardrails. They're going to have DoD speed, but a compromise. Both sides are going to save face. Anthropic's going to get the deal they wanted originally, and the
Right.
Pentagon's going to get the AI they need. And both
Mm-hmm.
sides are going to walk away saying they won. And that's prediction 2. So prediction 3 is the second wave of vendors gets added to the approval list within 120 days. This is where the real meat and potatoes is going to happen. This is where the reality is going to make it gel. So the second wave of vendors, specialty firms,
Right.
cybersecurity,
Mm-hmm.
synthetic data, edge interference, okay,
Yeah.
robotics. That is what's coming. That's where the reality of, oh, how does this big monster actually start to move? It's going to take all those little threads to make all of that big stuff happen. And
Right.
that's where it's going to happen. That's where the opportunity is going to sit. Watch
Mhm.
out for the second wave announcement. That's where the SDVOSBs and the small primes, they have a real shot.
Yep. That's hey, what do you have for us? You got a bonus prediction?
Sure. And this is the bigger story that nobody's reporting yet. This deal just put pressure on every NATO ally to do the same thing in their own classified networks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? UK,
Yep.
Germany, France, Australia, Canada, Japan, Italy. They must follow, or I'm going to say the predict they're going to follow within 12 months, which means that the 8 that got picked here are about to get a global allied footprint.
Wow.
Because the companies that grow to fit the allied procurement become the largest defense tech firms in history. We're watching the birth of $1 trillion defense AI companies in real time.
Trillion with a T.
Yeah, that's not a typo. T,
Mm.
capital T. And look, these are going to be the new Lockheeds, the new Raytheons. These are the next Boeing. They're all going to be built around AI instead of airframes. The Pentagon just minted an industry in one
Wow.
Friday morning.
Mhm.
8 companies just became the next defense primes. Foundation, family, we're not watching it, we are inside it.
We're inside it, people.
Yeah, we're inside it. You pick your position, pick this week, the window's open, and the window does
Yes.
not stay open very long.
Right. Listen, to my smarts, to my motivators, to my warriors, to my final bosses, man, thank you for staying with us. Sensei, bring it on home.
All right, I'm going to make it simple. Bullet points. Here we go. 8 got the contract. 1 got blacklisted. The 1 came back. That's the story. The foundation's been poured. The concrete's wet.
Right.
You pick your position. You either build on top or you're going to rent from those who did.
Absolutely.
That's your only 2 options. That's it.
Right. That's it. That's it. That's the Sensei, people and family. That is your Tech Tuesdays for tonight. Episode number 233, Arc 3, the Foundation, Season 4, the Rebirth.
We are locked in.
And tomorrow night, Merger Wednesdays, right? We go doctoral in the consciousness sovereignty conversation. You don't want to miss that one, right?
Yeah, it's going to be a different show, different gear, different mindset, same building.
Same building. Thursday, special guest Thursday. Stay tuned for that announcement. And then Sunday, we come back. We're sitting down Sundays where we bring back the soul work.
It's a whole week.
Yeah, a whole week. To my smarts, to my final boss, to my motivators, to my warriors, you showed up for tonight. You are the sovereign.
We don't take that lightly.
No, not ever. Stay sharp, stay sovereign, stay dangerous. And until next Tuesday.
SENSEI out.
Haha, Turbo out. Peace, people. Listen, before you go, every foundation gets poured once. The ones who watch it cure get to build on it. The ones who looked away get to rent from the builders. Listen, Season 4, the Rebirth, Arc 3, the Foundation. I am the final boss. He is the Sensei. The Sensei has spoken. The final boss never loses. And before we go, if I don't see you, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Good night.
And always, man, always, there's a heavy pain that comes with discipline, but there's an even heavier pain that comes with regret. I am here. We are here. And this has been the Final Boss Podcast, Final Boss Community, Final Boss Nation, Final Boss Family. Be balanced, be equal, and most importantly, be smart. That is our show, people. See you tomorrow night, 9 p.m. live. Talk to you soon.
Welcome to Tech Tuesday on the Final Boss Podcast, where innovation meets attitude, and the future gets decoded one byte at a time. I'm your host, TURBOTHECEO, and your co-host, Mike FOTH. And today we're diving deep into the tech trenches to uncover the tools, trends, and truths shaping tomorrow. Whether you're a code slinger, gadget geek, or just tech curious, this is your weekly power-up. So grab your controller, plug in, and let's level up.